Hello, beloveds, and welcome to this message. I'm Erica. I am a psychic medium, oracle prophetess. So nice to connect with you. Thank you for being here or for returning for another message. You've seen the title, so you guys already know what this is about. This is a very strong message that was coming through, and it is that for many of you guys tuning in, you were literally at the crucifixion of Yeshua, of Jesus Christ. And not only that, you're an oracle of the Essenes. And you are back in this incarnation for a lot of reasons, but you came back for divine justice against the Patriarch. So that is the message here, okay? I'm like, where do I want to start? So being an oracle of the Essenes are, how do I want to say it? Let's just say that they were a group, and I'm connected with the Essenes, like, you know, this is like Mother Mary, you know, Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Joseph, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so the Essenes are actually like ancient Jewish, but they practiced, like, they were spiritual, right? So they were oracles and high priestesses and high priests. Many of the Essenes had their own Essene mystery schools, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so, you know, what they practiced, it was like known, but it wasn't like just put out there like super publicly. But they were prophets, they were oracles, and who I'm talking to, many of you guys, your ancestors, your ancestry, your bloodlines, etc., is very connected to all of this stuff. But many of you guys are going to resonate. Even if you weren't literally at the crucifixion where you were like present there, you were alive during this moment in time. And what I was shown is that this moment in time, like when Yeshua was crucified, he already at this point, he was known far and wide for his healings and teachings and love and, you know, miracles and all these things, right? And we know that he was a master alchemist. He was a high priest. He was a master alchemist. So he wasn't performing miracles that was given to him by the grace of some, you know, by his Father God. It wasn't that at all. What it was him being the full alchemist and tuning in and working with his higher selves and his energy bodies, and, you know, being extremely grounded and, you know, anchored in his physical vessel. That's how he was able to transcend, and that's how he was able to manifest instant manifestations and perform, quote, miracles, because it was miraculous, right? Anyways, so that is the message. And what and then I was like tuning in with this more, and I was like, can you show me more? And so what I was being shown, like, it's like, you know, I was going back into this timeline and revisiting and rewalking through it, because I also was incarnated here at this time. You know, and I've known this about my own self for a very long time, but this is the first time I've channeled something like this for the collective. Where I was taken was, I was walking, like, I was literally like taken in, and I was walking through the streets like as if I was a ghost. Like, everyone was just going about their business, and, you know, it was like there was like people walking everywhere. There was people walking through with like goats and sheep and horses. and wagons, and there was like little like stands, like market, like baskets of like fruits and grains and fish, stuff like that. Okay. And I was like, and I could smell all the spices and the smells, and I could hear like, it was like, all this chitter chatter, because it was a very busy like environment, people talking and etc. So that's significant, because that's actually like a memory that many of you guys hold within yourselves and your Akashic records. If you guys are new here, I am a psychic medium, and so I do general readings, but like my specialty is like quantum healing, but also my Akashic record sessions and readings. I'm very, very, very connected, easily connected, I should say. I'm personally easily connected with the Akashic records. So I can tune in with other people's past lives very easily. And so this is a reflection, like a look into a lot of your memories. It's not going to be the same memory for everyone, right? But what I mean is like walking through the streets, the marketplace, hearing the, like, I was hearing a lot of like Arabic languages, but also other languages, the way people were dressed, not wearing like shoes, but like everyone was dressed very differently. Like different from modern times, obviously. Wearing sandals. It was also pretty hot. It was warm. And you could feel the energy there. And there was this extreme, profound density and thickness and darkness amidst all of the crowds of people and just permeating through. And that was the energy that was coming through. It was fear. So if you resonate with biblical times, with Jesus, with Mary Magdalene, with the Essenes, with, other parts of maybe the Bible, because we know that the Bible is like, it can't be trusted, okay? Like, there's a lot of misconstrued stuff in the Bible. There's a lot of untrue things in the Bible, but there's also a lot of really beautiful things and true things in there too. But we know that Yeshua was not walking around preaching like, come be saved, come get baptized, like that kind of a thing necessarily. It was more, he was a part of the Essenes. So he taught and connected through the old ways, through the ancient ways. Okay? Like at this point in time, they were trying to push this new age. Like nowadays, it's funny to hear people say that nowadays, like, oh, new age spirituality, and this is new age this, new age that. And I'm like, what? Like, where do you get that from? Like, what makes you think spirituality is new age? Spirituality is as old as time. It's as old as the universe. Religion is the stuff that's new age, if anything, right? Anyways, so all of us here who I'm talking to, you here, you carry within you a lot of trauma and fear and pain from this time period and incarnations. Maybe, and I'm telling you, when Yeshua was crucified, a darkness fell over the lands, quite literally. The moment he transcended out of the physical vessel, like thunder, lightning, dark clouds rolled in. It was storming, like craziness. It was the universe and Mother Earth reacting to the horrific acts of what just occurred by the hands of humans. Because all humans are of heaven and earth. And so it's like the day that he was crucified, that you were alive, and therefore you still hold that trauma and darkness and extreme sorrow within, because there was a sorrow. There was a loss of hope through all the lands when Yeshua was crucified. There was a melancholy, a darkness, a somberness that passed through all the lands and through the hearts of many. And it was like in that moment, humanity lost hope. Like, here, this miracle worker, this quote, right, like son of God, like, you know, all these things, like he was like conceived through immaculate conception, like all these things. And then to have him crucified, it broke humanity's heart. Everyone who knew him, who heard of him, who met him, who walked with him, they were crushed. And you, Mil Morris, you're a part of that. This is a wound that has rippled through time. And let's say you weren't at the actual crucifixion, but you were alive during that time, which is my point. But for many of you guys, you were literally there. Maybe you weren't front row standing right there watching. Maybe you were selling fish in the marketplace as it was happening. But you were there. You felt the cold. You witnessed the literal storms come through, and it scared the crap out of people, because you have to think, back then people, they weren't disconnected from spiritual energy and things like that. Like, they weren't disconnected. Like, we still use herbs for healing, and you know, being an oracle or a priestess, like, people knew that oracles and priestesses walked everywhere. Healers were, you know what I mean? It wasn't, right? So you know what I mean? It wasn't like nowadays. So you literally walked with Jesus, or were at the crucifixion, or you were one of, you know, Yeshua's brothers and sisters. Like, they call them disciples. But a disciple is just a friend. It's just one of your Essene friends, or your spiritual friends. Because that's what they did. So the Essenes prophesied the Messiah. The Essenes prophesied, what they prophesied was this golden age we're living in right now. And for a lot of you guys watching, your own ancestors were some of the Essenes that prophesied that, you know, that you were going to come and this golden age was going to happen and heaven on earth would return and all these things would, right? So you saw it thousands of years before it even happened. You carry those same gifts of oracular vision and prophecy with you now. And many of you guys are very aware of this. Like me, I'm very aware of my gifts in that way. For some of you guys, you're very aware. But for many of you guys tuning in right now, this is going to be one huge confirmation for your heart and your soul. I feel your soul taking a deep breath, like, oh, finally, like, you know, oh my God, I just saw 333. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you. The candle started responding, or the flame started responding. In fact, let's have some fun with that. Everyone, tune into the flame. Or I shouldn't say everyone, because I know you're watching. Tune into the flame. Watch the candle flame. And I'm watching it through here, through the screen. Okay. Yeshua, beloved brother, Christos brother. Ooh, did you see that? Please show us by making the flame crackle and dance that you're here. Make the flame go crazy. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you. All right. Mary Magdalene, beloved sister, if you're here, please show us through the fire flame. I love it. Thank you, beloved, beautiful sister. Thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Mary Magdalene. All right, so I just wanted to, because I communicate through fire all the time. I communicate with my spirit guides through the fire all the time. I'm a fire priestess. That's the element I'm most connected to, right? And there's no like, you know, like breezes and stuff, or you know what I mean? Anyways, I knew that they would answer. And I love that when the candle starts like flickering, like going all crazy, like it just did. All right. So, okay, so let's get back into this message. Okay, and so another thing, going back to like when I tapped into this timeline and I like basically like astral traveled into this timeline. It's like remote viewing, but like I literally step into the timeline, and everything I was seeing and feeling and smelling and hearing and, you know, all the things. But a very strong message that came through that I needed to share with you guys for who this is for, right? Obviously, if you're still here, then this is for you. It's about the food. It's about your past lives and nostalgia and resonances around food. You know, like it always makes me laugh. Like, you know, for the longest time, ever since I can remember, I've always, you know, eaten, like since I was like 18 years old or I moved out, I would make like cheese boards, you know, and now it's like a trend or whatever, like charcuterie. People are like making like savory girl snack plates. And I'm like, you do realize this quote, savory girl snack plate is literally just a past life meal. That's it. It's a bunch of veggies, peppers, onions, eggs, you know, smoked fish. That's past life food. That's why people are, I mean, yes, it's delicious, but that's why people are obsessed with this kind of stuff, because there's there's a very deep resonance and nostalgia that is so satisfying on a soul level to them, but they just don't realize it because they're asleep. But the soul will always come through no matter what. And so that's why all of a sudden the charcuterie thing, people eating steak and avocado like on a cutting board, I'm like, that's a past life, that's your past life plates. We didn't have porcelain and Tupperware and plates and paper plates. We literally had cut like pieces, like board slabs, or, you know, wooden bowls or wooden plates, you know, things of that nature. But anyways, I just had to point that out because people don't realize how many similarities and familiarities there are from right now in this lifetime and things we love and we do that are connected to past lives. But anyways, going back to the food, the nostalgia with food. So if you were like alive during this time, you know, one, you are a powerful seer. You're a powerful healer. Like how Yeshua performed miracles, all of the Essenes could do that. All of us did that work. Maybe not on the highest level, because Yeshua was super high alchemical magic. But that's literally what we taught in the mystery schools. That's what we did. That's what we embodied. That's what we worked our way up to. That's what we transcended into through our intentional, you know, like just working together as a mystery school community, or as the Essenes, or even like, you know, in mystery schools or trainings, etc., like in Egypt or Mesopotamia or Italy, or, you know what I mean, Portugal. By the way, you guys, the mystery school is up and running, our Circle of Light mystery school. So if you want to enroll or sign up, I'm doing it to where, you know, you can literally sign up at any time. And when you sign up, you're going to pay $111. And what that pays for is it signs you up, it enrolls you, and it pays for 4 weeks. It pays for 4 weeks of the mystery school, of meeting every Sunday. We meet every Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Zoom. And it's always recorded. So if you can't make the lives, then you still get to participate. The sun card, look at that. I love it. You still get to participate through the recording. And yeah, it's very interactive, and we are working with our gifts. I'm channeling and helping to bring forth healings and, you know, teachings. And it's also a safe space of sharing, a safe container of, you know, just community, like sisterhood and brotherhood and like priestesshood and priesthood in this way, like what I'm talking about in this channeled message. Like, this is the work, this is what we're tapping into. We're working with the Kundalini and our inner energy and our channels and our tantra and like breath work and Akashic records and like quantum, you know, doing things and healing in the quantum reality and like all these things. Okay. So if you're like, I'm ready, like sign me up, just send me an email, gypsycowgirltarot@gmail.com. And of course my email and all of like my payment options and my other like, you know, spiritual services are in the description box as well. So we would love to have you. So our next gathering is this Sunday. And if you sign up, you know, this week, then you'll start this Sunday with us, right? But like I said, you can, it's not like, oh, you know, if you weren't in October, you know, or the last 4 weeks, then you're behind. Or I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it so people, when they're called, they can join. All right, let's get a couple tarot cards. So, oh my God, I keep bringing up the food and then I keep forgetting to talk about the food. But what's crazy is literally look at the cards that just came out. Look at the cards that just came out. This is confirmation of the crucifixion. And this timeline right here, I mean, literally. Like, I feel like this is the person who crucified Yeshua, and I feel like this is Yeshua. He's even in blue robes with a crown. And I feel like in this moment, he's basically like, please don't do this, brother. You know? You can still choose another path. But he did not choose another path. Like over here is the town of Galilee or whatever. He did not choose a higher path. For some of you guys, in this lifetime, for some of you guys, and this is just the truth, we've all had lifetimes of negative, dark karma. And we've all had lifetimes where we've done things and been things that we couldn't even imagine ourselves being or doing. So for some of you guys, your ancestors or you might actually be the soul who crucified Yeshua. Or maybe you were just a part of that whole group and movement moving against him. Or you know what I mean? It can go both ways, either way. But I think for most of you guys, because I'm hearing you're the liberators. So that's what I mean. Like Yeshua was a liberator. The Essenes, liberators. And that's why many of us have come back. Like I said in the download, it was literally like, and now you're back because you're bringing justice to the dark patriarch and patriarchy that literally crucified your brother and your sisters and, you know, many of your family members and like, you know what I mean? And what did I say about the crucifixion? And I said, when the moment it happened, all the dark storms flooded in. There it is. And it's the tower. This is the moment of the crucifixion. It created the tower energy, something massive, and it just crumbled. That's crazy. What's on the bottom of the deck? The Queen of Cups. I just heard Mother Mary. But the Queen of Cups, we know, is very spiritual. She's, she's highly intelligent, emotionally mature and deep. She's psychic. She's spiritual. She's compassionate. She's so loving. She's like unconditional love, like all these things. That's like Mother Mary. So you're also very connected. It's like Mother Mary had to watch her only son be crucified at the hands of just evil energy. Yeah, look, please, begging, see? Like, there's, you know what I mean? Selfishness, greed. Like, this guy is begging, can I just have one pentacle or even a little piece of one of your pentacles? And this guy's like, no way. No, you cannot have anything of mine. It's greed. And notice, he's like in a higher status. That's what I mean. Even back then, the elites, their agenda, oh man, you guys, and I know you know, that's why you came back for justice against all that. Like you're literally, you incarnated, and through your healing and through your own transcendence, ascendance, like that's what you're doing. And that's why all of the darkness in the world is being exposed. It's a full circle moment for many of you guys. Because you literally were the oracles. See, look, please, and look, 5 of Wands. Like just burning everyone down and like, you know, fights, battles, war. There it is. Because of greed, it created this right here. And it shows like these are the common folk. Like he's common folk. And in this lifetime, in this incarnation, a lot of you guys, like the Essenes, like we were common folk. We weren't, I mean, even though some of us came from like elite, like not elite in that way, but like Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, like they were born of privilege. Like Mary Magdalene was born of extreme wealth. She wasn't a prostitute. She wasn't some desperate hag that was like, you know, trailing around at the feet of Jesus, like how the Patriarch painted her out because they wanted no one to know who she was. That's why Mother Mary, like they're not, like Mother Mary, she's barely spoken about in the Bible. Women in general. And they paint them to be weak creatures and whores and you know what I mean? So it's so clear the agenda from day one. And so you guys were there from day one. And that's why you're like, I'm going back in the full circle moment of the golden age that I, as an oracle of Magdalene, an oracle of Isis, you know, of other ancient lineages of Melchizedek, of Serapis Bey, of Saint Germain, of, you know, blah, 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 right? I'm going back to watch this full circle moment. But you also knew, because you prophesied this a long time ago, and your ancestors who are of the Essenes and whatnot, they prophesied you a long time ago. There's the Sun card again. You came to bring the light. You're the bringer of light. You redeem Mother Earth from the grips of her invaders. Like you brought redemption. You are the liberator. You are the victor. This is victory. You brought the light. Okay, you're shining the light on all the greed. All the greed. Yeshua knew of his crucifixion. I mean, Mary Magdalene helped him for weeks before. She helped him prepare his transcendence from the earthly realm. She helped him prepare his final ascension on earth. And their twin flames, it broke her heart because she knew that day was coming. They both did. And she knew that she was helping her beloved transcend and leave her here on earth by herself. But he didn't. I mean, he did, but he came back. She fled to France with Mother Mary. And Yeshua, being the powerful alchemist that he is, he returned to her in France. And they spent out their days in France. And they had children, a family. You know what I mean? So anyways, that's what I mean by like, you can't, like, we know that religion has, but how would Christianity, etc., have control over people if they knew that that wasn't true, the story that they told about, you know, he's God's only like son, and you gotta like, you know, get baptized and give all of your free will power away to us, like, you know, all those things. It wouldn't work. They wouldn't be able to control people if they knew the truth. And for a long time, the people who crucified him, they had no idea. They had no idea that he was alive and well. They had no clue. They thought, you know what I mean? But that's what I mean. So the light always wins. The light at the end of the day, the light will always win. And this is another time of light and heaven upon earth. There's always going to be shadow and light, but there's a difference between shadow and light versus evil and light. And the invaders that have been invading earth for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, they're evil. They are pure evil. They do not have humanity within them. They do not have 1 ounce of compassion. All they care about is this. Keeping people stuck in cycles of conflict, fear, war, famine, disease, while they sit and collect and everyone else needs to, right? So that's literally, see how he's begging him? He's giving his power to him. He's giving his power. And see, he holds all this power. That's exactly what I mean. Patriarch is dead. It's done. It's over. The light has won. And anyways, I'm wrapping this up now. Many of you guys, you're very, very, very strongly connected with Yeshua. But in particular, many of you guys, Mother Mary, the color blue, blue rose priestess, also Mary Magdalene, the red rose priestess, and the Magdalens. You hold within you a lot of ancient wisdom, knowledge, and memories. And I have a feeling that more readings are coming through like this for you guys. So stay tuned. Definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell and all the things, because I have a lot of collective Akashic record energy and things like this coming through at this time and moving forward. And the reason being is because these types of channeled messages that, like, when you come here on my channel, when I'm channeling things like this, these channelings that are coming through, they are encoded with very specific codexes, healings, activations for you. And it's not going to be the same codes or activations for every single one of you. It's going to be very specific person to person who's tuning in. I just got like big ear angels. Wow. Okay. Mary Magdalene, can you make the candle dance again? I love it so much. Thank you, beloved sister. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. Mahava. Mahava. Thank you, beloved. All right. I just love it so much. Okay. Speaking of fire, they are also like your Essene ancestors, because you have a lot of ancestors that are from the Essenes, and not only from the Essenes, but from many different cultures, bloodlines, places on earth, backgrounds that are helping you. So they're helping you to heal. They're helping you to connect with your inner fire, to tap into your inner alchemy, to transmute, like to connect with your passions, and to really just like be happy and allow yourself to relinquish these lifetimes and layers of armor and cages, because just this one lifetime here, the amount of trauma and PTSD and like everything that just like is still there. And I know a lot of you guys have done healing around this, especially if you like are aware of these kinds of lifetimes, but for a lot of you guys, this is just like your first big maybe confirmation. Spirit is showing me that you have been getting more and more signs and messages from them about your connection to certain ascended masters like Mother Mary or Yeshua, Mary Magdalene. But they're also giving you a lot more messages and signs and guidance around your past lives. So Oh my God. Thank you, Spirit. And it's like the last, they're like, this is, so going back to the food. So those of you guys, okay, that, you know, where you had lifetimes here, or this was like, you know, you were at the crucifixion, and you are, you know, you're an oracle, a prophet, a prophetess of the Essenes. You're a healer of the Essenes. You're very connected to the Essenes. You will resonate with certain foods, like, and these were the foods that I was smelling, and I was seeing like people scooping like soups and like eating with flatbreads. A lot of like what we ate in this lifetime and at this time. Like the Essenes, we did not really eat like meat per se. We ate a lot of barley, lentils, lentil soup, you know, fruits, like fruits that were in season. I see us eating a lot of figs and, you know, other fruits and things like that. Dates. I'm seeing pistachios. But we also ate a lot of dried fish. And just people in Galilee and in like these regions back then, like the Middle East, we'll say like Middle East, Mediterranean, like, but it's like the Middle East. It's, you know, a lot of like just fruits, fish, goat, lamb, beef, but beef was more like cows. Like beef was more only consumed or eaten by more like the rich people or the elite. Okay, so anyways, but yeah, so like lentil soups was like a big one, you know, with like rice, lentil, flatbread, onion, garlic, like very simple ingredients. You know, cumin, I'm getting like paprika, things of that nature. So you may really love food like that. Maybe as I'm talking about this, it's igniting some past life food nostalgia for you in this moment, and maybe you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go make something real simple. I mean literally like real simple, like, you know, like the lentil and, you know, like the lentil and rice soups were literally like lentil, rice, you know, like, you know, chicken stock, or, you know, like that kind of thing, onion, maybe some garlic and cumin, and that's it, you know. You know, stuff like sugar and salt and things like that, like we were able to get our hands on it, of course, but that kind of stuff was more of like a luxury. Like if you wanted like salted food or salted pork, you know, like you were gonna pay extra. Like it was like that, you know. So anyways, so I just wanted to say that because there's something really strong around the aromas, the spices, the foods. I'm also getting like a lot of beans and mushrooms. Like I'm seeing a lot of mushrooms too. So I don't know, but definitely like the lentil and the flatbreads and rice and, you know, fish and fruits, figs, pomegranates, you know, blah 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 blah. Right. So anyways, okay. I think that's it for you. I think that's it for today. So I just wanted to get that out. I wanted to share that. You know, right as we end, actually, let's go ahead and, this is like a past life oracle deck. Let's just see what comes out in regards to this, or anything else that wants to come through. So you literally being alive right now, you being born, the moment you were born, and everything that you've been moving through in your life, it is a literal living prophecy. You are a walking, talking, breathing prophecy. We all are. Many of us. Trust and faith. You had to come back full circle, because in this lifetime, after they crucified him, and just how everything felt and how everything started happening, and it's like, it literally was the day that he transcended, darkness descended down upon these lands and these people. And it did feel very dark for a very long time. We felt hopeless. We felt like, what now? Like the darkness has won. They've taken over. Like the Essenes, like we have to practice in secrecy, and we have to be very, cautious of who we trust and who we let in and who we commune with, because anyone can throw us under the bus, and then boom, that's the end of our life or whatever, or they come after our family. Like, it was very scary, and there was a lot of fear that we lived with every single day. But at the same time, many of us did maintain faith, and we maintained our connection and our soul work and our quantum work and everything that we were doing, and that's what kept us going. So in this lifetime, it was like you got to regain all of your trust and your faith that you lost in this lifetime. And maybe that's why it's been hard for you to trust in people, in religion, especially, like, because you came back with a bit of a chip on your shoulder, or a feeling of, like, this is not right, so maybe you incarnated into a very religious family, or that was meant to trigger the wounds of religion and persecution and Yeshua's crucifixion, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so there's something about Egypt. Again, this all ties and it connects even to Egypt, ancient Egypt, Kemet, I almost said Sekhmet. Sekhmet's coming through. Samaria. Let's get one more. The angels, look at that, how beautiful. Yeah, this all has to do with lessons and blessing and time. It was like, in time, we prophesied that all these lessons and blessings, etc., would unfold, and the light would return, and the darkness would be revealed and transmuted. You guys are the earth angels. You're ancient. You're connected to ancient wisdoms, teaching practices. You're connected to the earth. You're connected to the temples, to the pyramids, to the stone circles, to the stars, to the trees, to everything. A lot of your ancient Egypt past lives are coming online also. For some of you guys, you were in Egypt during this time. You could have been living in Egypt somewhere, and news traveled, and you received some kind of letter, and it was that, Christ had been crucified in Galilee or whatever, right? Like, so, but yeah, look at that. I love that the angels, it's like double. And that right there is your angels and ancestors, but it's also like Yeshua and Mary and, all right. So look at the candle dancing again. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna leave it here. I just saw 4244, so I'm gonna leave it here with all the fours. This is like the new moon eve or whatever, but happy new moon in Scorpio. I will be doing a reading for the new moon, of course. And I think that's it. So let me know in the comments how this resonates for you. This is a really powerful message. So if this found you, I mean, for real, like, if you're here still, you were there. You were there. And it's still, I just got, like, it just, and to this day, like, it gives you chills because of how real it still vibrates through you, So anyways, I love you guys. Thank you so much, mi amores. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Bye.